Hi and welcome. Welcome back if you've been here before. It is Sunday self-care, self-love time. So let's pull some cards and see if we can get some guidance about what aspect of self needs our attention, anything significant about our holistic well-being and health that we can improve. Let's see. There's usually, well, not usually, there is so many aspects to who we are at any given time that would need our attention, and it's not always possible to see everything all at once or to even handle and deal with everything all at once. But sometimes we need to direct our focus to specific things. So let's see what the cards have for us today. At the bottom of the deck we have the Ace of Pentacles. Okay. We also have the Queen of Wands. And these are reminding me of either daisies or sunflowers for some reason. Somebody might be seeing daisies or sunflowers. We have the Judgment. And we have the Page of Pentacles in reverse. Let's see. What aspect of self do we need to direct our focus to today? Okay, so first off, what I'm getting is with the Queen of Wands, someone might need to get some more sun, be outside in the sunlight. We are having quite extreme solar activity, solar flares, CMEs, and our relationship to anything in the world, in the universe, if we have a negative relationship with something, we are going to have a negative experience. But nothing or not everything is inherently negative. So like we might always wear sunblock, for instance, which isn't necessary, right? We need the sun. We need vitamin D from the sun. We need the sun for warmth. We need the sun for growth. We are essentially very similar to plants. Sunflowers turn towards the sun for a reason. And like if you perceive the sun as bad and if I go out in the sun I'm going to get burnt, the sun is not negative, not bad, not trying to harm you. It is your responsibility to take up as much sun as you need to, but not overdo it, not go to any extremes and be in extreme heat for prolonged periods of time. And that goes for anything and everything. It is our responsibility to moderate our exposure or use of something, and we can't blame the thing if something negative happens. The sun is just there doing its thing, and it's our responsibility to soak it up, enjoy it, be grateful for it, but not overuse, overdo, or I don't know why this, like it's come out initially about getting some sun, but I'm also feeling like it's symbolic. She's wearing black. And black is a color that absorbs light. Okay, so we need the sun on a physical level for vitamin D, for light, for warmth, the same way that plants do to grow. But we are also receiving light codes at the moment from the sun. Well, always, but it's become quite intense lately. And if you are aware of these cellular, energetic, spiritual changes that is happening because of the sun, I usually speak about that in a lot of my videos. Not really in the self-care, self-love messages, but it's coming through here now for a reason. If you are aware or not aware, the sun is helping us change on a molecular, a cellular, a DNA, an energetic level. And if you're not aware that these things are happening, this is astrological transits, there's so much happening in our environment. If you are not aware, then it can feel like a negative experience. You know, if you don't know that you can get burnt if you stay out in the really hot sun for too long, or if you don't know that if you have a lighter skin, you'll probably burn more easily, whereas someone with a lot of melanin will just absorb that light, like this black clothing. They won't necessarily get burnt, they might get tanned, but it almost amplifies the melanin that they already have, the pigment that they already have, and it's not doing damage, it's actually doing them good. So if you don't understand yourself, what aspects of yourself need more of something or less of something, what things are good for you, good is relative and subjective, and what things would be harmful for you, then you can have a negative experience and then blame the thing for being negative when it's not. Again, that is symbolic, but also specifically about the sun, because I'm drawn to the fact that this person has darker skin on this card, and dark hair and dark clothes. So we have the ability to absorb light. We absorb light, and light is energy, and it has codes, information. Everything is energy and consciousness. And if we are having a negative experience, possibly now, if you're not aware of it, the solar activity that we are having is here to help us, to aid us to grow in an exponential way, in a multi-level way, on a physical, emotional, mental, and energetic level. And yes, there are aspects of ourselves that would need to die off, like a plant. Just because some leaves turn brown and fall off doesn't mean the plant is dead or decaying or bad. Those aspects that die off has reached its expiration date. It has gone through its life cycle, and it gives way to something new. And if you are not aware of what is happening in your physical vessel, in your energy, then this can feel like such a negative experience. So I usually keep up to date with the Schumann's resonance and the solar activity and the astrological transits as far as I can. The judgment card here, this one looks a little different to the traditional or other judgment cards, but this is like awakening to a calling of your higher self, or God, the angels, the universe. And this eye here, it's like the universe, God, the divine sees everything, good or bad, and in some perspective, nothing is good or bad, it just is. And how we experience it can either be good or bad, and again, that is subjective to our perspective. What I feel like the Queen of Wands is someone who's confident and radiant and bold, but she's attractive and she's intuitive, so she doesn't necessarily have to. She embodies an energy of being confident and bold, but she doesn't have to actively in the physical do things. I feel like the Queen of Wands is like the Queen of Magic, and magic, it doesn't have to be in an esoteric sense or a woo-woo sense. It's just that she understands herself and knows herself, and so she can work with flow with how nature, the world works, and this allows things to fall into place. And there's something about the universe and God seeing everything that happens. Even if you're not able to take any steps in your life at the moment or have tangible things unfold, it's almost like your waking up to your true self is what you need to be focusing on now. Seeing yourself in this confident light, in this capable light, and not feeling the need to do anything. Because the universe sees everything, and everything is gifted to us in some sense. It's not our doing. Yes, we do things in the 3D, but ultimately it's a co-creative process with every single thing in this world, in our ecosystem, and at large. It's a process, a co-creative process. The flowers are not independent of the sun, and even the sun exists because of us, because of everything else. Let's see specifically what we can take from this in terms of self-care and self-love. The Queen of Wands is a personal energy that radiates with the mastery of the power of attraction. The Queen of Wands is sincere and incredibly strong-willed. Your down-to-earth approach, sensual and bold nature means people are drawn to you like a magnet. The message: recognize your power. You can harness your creative energies into real results right now. And this can be represent Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius placements. There's an affirmation here that says, my confident, independent spirit leads me to everything I dream of. I feel like with the Queen of Wands, this is a feminine energy, so it's a receptive energy. I feel like what we can do for our own well-being here is tap into our creative energy. Do creative things: paint, draw, sing, make music, garden, cook, bake, whatever. Just doing creative projects or things just for the pleasure of it, for enjoying it, subconsciously unlocks, activates the creativity within us and adds to our already infinite energy field, our own innate energy, but it sort of just switches it on, wakes it up. There's something about dancing here that would be good. The Queen, the Queen of Wands, is the most amorous of the court cards. Allow yourself to experience the sensual side of the spiritual connection between the divine and yourself by exploring your sexuality solo. Make a thoughtful, and yeah, I think it was really apparent here that it was difficult for me to read this. Make a thoughtful ritual out of self-pleasuring, and that's not the word that was used. Seduce yourself and let it be an expression of your power and complete agency in your own life, and put life and out. I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time reading this. In your own life and out in the world. Okay, so what I'm getting from this is that we can get very caught up in the 3D physical world, right? That the only way to experience something is in the physical and in relation with another physical thing. And often we find our happiness, our security, pleasure, validation from our relationships, and especially our love relationships. And sometimes it's important to be able to draw on our own energy and not use another person or a relationship as a means to feel sensual and feel your own magnetic energy and feel confident. And whether this is self-pleasuring in that sense or just enjoying your body, like notice how you feel and move when you walk. Notice your smile in the mirror when you pass by a mirror. Notice what the energy, and it's difficult to explain. Notice what the energy in your body feels like. Does it feel tense? Does it feel relaxed? Does it feel comfortable and with ease? Does it feel radiant and vibrant, or does it feel dull and dead? Notice how you speak to yourself, how you think about yourself, and notice if you can only feel good things about yourself because of how it is reflected back to you by other people. And how can you spend more time cultivating that connection with yourself, with your own body, with your own emotions, with your own consciousness, and with God's source, the universe, and the divine. Wow, that is interesting. These things can often feel so weird to speak about, but it shouldn't be. Let's see what the judgment says and see how it comes together, these three cards that we got. Your judgment of yourself or a situation will lead you to a game-changing realization, a new start. You are gaining a greater understanding of the world and your place in it. Everything you've learned has brought you here to a state of truth. This is a lifelong, difficult journey to understand all parts of yourself and what connects you to everyone else, with patience and forgiveness. But that is your invitation now. You are waking up to what it all means. Let compassion transform you. The affirmation here is, I awake to my life's purpose. I serve humanity so that others will awaken too. I feel like if all that we are, your personality, what you do for work, the things that you do in your spare time, if we do not have a keen sense of self, and basically we're sort of stealing each other's energy. Like, I see this person do that, or everyone around me does this, so I'm also doing that, and now I cultivate that. Or I make jokes because of that is the role that I play in my group. You know, because I make jokes and everybody laughs, that makes me feel validated, so I have become the funny one. When I actually have other aspects of my personality that I don't show, or I don't acknowledge, or I don't tap into, that would be really helpful, not because it makes other people feel good that I can make them laugh, but because the fact that I am very grounded and stable, that benefits humanity in another way. Or because I am very driven for myself, I inspire people in another way. And none of this is ego-based. This is about awakening to how we can be without necessarily being so influenced by everything else, and awakening and growing to our full potential, and that still being in symbiotic co-creation flow with everything else, and then everything else grows together. But it's almost like it's not siphoning energy from one place to another. It is drawing on universal energy, and that energy then expanding and growing. And I mean, these things are, there's levels to it, and I feel like you are being called to awaken to a new level, or you are awakening to a new level of self and your energy and your consciousness that is not dictated by anything else, but dictated by your higher self, by God and the universe. We also have the Page of Pentacles in reverse. And why can't I find it? Okay, there we go. A person or energy that's being excessive, materialistic, or stuck in one place, lacking the enthusiasm to move forward. There is a disinterest or irresponsibility with material possessions. However, it may be that they feel external pressure to be, act, or spend in a certain way that's not in alignment with their true selves. If this is you, ask yourself, what would it take to realign your energy right now? Sit with your feelings and know you're on a good path. I feel like what is happening is as the sun, the astrology, the universe, everything in the world is creating an environment that might feel hostile and bad, but it's creating opportunities for us to grow in new levels and for us to change ourselves, our world as an individual and the world, by realigning with new ways of being, new ways of spending money, new ways of using our resources, and that can be the environment or our money or our skills and talents or each other in a more symbiotic way, in a healthier way. And if there's an aspect of your growth, your development that is stagnant right now, whether that's your money or whether that is your personal self-development or certain relationships or whatever it is, there's an opportunity there for us to see new paths and new ways of doing things. And when we access certain aspects of ourselves, it opens up new ways for the universe to bless us, better ways, greater ways for the universe to bless us. There is so much noise right now when I'm doing this reading, but take the time today to get out in the sun or even just outside, even if it's not in the direct sun, like sit under a tree or on a balcony or veranda somewhere. Be outdoors, notice the plants, receive the light codes. Somebody might want to do some sun gazing. Dance today, do something creative. Allow the energies of the sun, the energies of nature, the energies of the astrological transits, whether you're aware of it or not, to unlock new aspects of yourself. It's like in a game when, there's often little tokens that you catch and then you can suddenly fly or you go faster or something like that. That's kind of what's happening to us now, if you allow it, if you let it. And it's not necessarily a very active process. It's just an awareness, an allowing and receiving and a surrendering to it, and then letting your higher self and the divine guide you when to be in your masculine energy and take action. But before you get to the part where you're taking the action, you need to be in the receptive part of activating, receiving, allowing, surrendering, flowing. We are creative beings, and sometimes we get stuck in doing things in a specific way for a really long time, and things become stagnant, not as a punishment, but to allow ourselves to tap into our creative power again, which is essentially not our power as physical human beings necessarily, but that is power gifted to us by God and the universe, the divine. And it is our responsibility to have enough awareness and to work with the universe so that everything can work in a more synchronized, better way for not just us, but for everyone and everything. I don't know if any of that made sense. If you're still here, please like, share, comment, and subscribe to join me again in another video. I am still doing zodiac readings for a look ahead for 2024. I do these self-love, self-read self-love, self-care readings, usually every Sunday, and sometimes it's specifically about health. Like it might bring up something about your back, or your respiratory system, or sometimes it's about mental health or emotional health stuff. Sometimes it's about our relationships with the universe. Sometimes it's a bit of both, depending on what needs to come through and who would be watching. When you engage with the videos by liking, sharing, commenting, or even just watching it, the universe will pick up on the energies and guide you back here, and guide me to say something that might be helpful to you. I don't know why I felt like I needed to mention that. But yeah, if you like the video, please hit the like button. It is helpful and a positive energy exchange. And I hope to see you again in another video.